accept the fact that men at my age just look ugly because that's what they're supposed to look like. Like, I'm just 29, and men at my age have no hairline, not much hair, not much personality. Just they look 40. And I'm supposed to be with them? I'm just accepting the reality I'm in that this is it. This is what they look like. That's it. And I'm just learning to be okay with it. Because what the fuck?
So, this is just the kind of par for the course right now, just the male bashing. That's just popular online, right? It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter what your station is. It's always just fine. It's popular. It's in vogue, right? Just to essentially just shit on men. And what the trap is, if you complain about it as men, right? If you're on the chat or in the comments and you're complaining about it, then they'll automatically have another place to put you, another thing to say. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. You just don't get to have an opinion as a man on when women are commenting on this, as talking about men as a whole. And I think it's really unfortunate that we're at this place where we don't have an ability to hold up a mirror to ourselves, to our behavior, to our words, to how disgusting we can often be with each other. And this is absolutely genderless, but what we definitely see a plethora of is women coming online and just saying anything about men. And it's just the comment section you'll be rewarded by the comment section. It's the new echo chamber. I remember seeing another post where a woman was talking about she went and talked to her therapist, and the therapist was blaming social media for the type of therapy that she was currently engaging in. That people were coming in ready to talk, not really talk about things that were substantive, but just ready to talk, ready to emote. Versus in the last 20 years or so, I think she said, when people would come in, it would take them time to open up. It would be a process. But she said she concluded that right now, everyone feels entitled to have their opinion be heard. Everyone feels entitled to be heard, but not realizing that you're just simply entitled to your opinion, not that everyone has to hear it. I think that's what we should sort of go back to, where we have a democratization of your opinion, where you can say it, you can find an audience that agrees with it, and it creates the semblance that you are correct, that you cannot be wrong, because there are people here that are validating what you're saying. But look, before we continue, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss new uploads. Still trying to do 2 a day. Had a little hiccup where I forgot to schedule one, but we got 2 in today. Um, you know, Shout out to quality control who's always checking up on making sure, hey, you missed this or this. These things really help me get back on track. Um, but back to this post, right? And we'll play it again in a bit just so we can key in on certain points. It becomes almost like wading through a swamp, right? For men, right? Men that are saying we have an interest in trying to be better, trying to rise above the negative discourse. But these things, they like mud, they stick to you, and over time they dry, they get heavy. That mud seems to turn to cement, and it becomes easy to get very disheartened when you hear all of this talk again and again and again. For men being chopped, for men, if you're not paying a bill, or if you're not doing something to alleviate a life, like, then your usefulness as a man is called complete into question. Over time, this is why men just simply disengage. And like, I came across this today, and if you take everything that I've had to do in the last couple of days, of the early morning starts, the long, super long days, hearing this at this time when you're already tired, probably overly sort of sensitive to things, they just hit harder, right? And you have to take time to have a palate cleanse, take time to walk away and realize that although it's in your face on the screen, and I think we have a bias towards that, we think that what's on the screen is somehow more legitimate, ignoring the real fact that we often have people that are average to below average calling other people out for the very same things that afflict them. Most of us are average. We think that because we're inundated with the beautiful, that the visually beautiful, that we put this forward, that media puts it forward, we think everyone's supposed to be this. When we come across average looking men and women, we don't want them. We feel we're somehow slighted, even when we're average men or women ourselves. It becomes a height of hypocrisy.
I'm starting to accept the fact that men at my age just look ugly because that's what they're supposed to look like. Like, I'm just 29. And men at my age have no hairline, not much hair, not much personality. Just they look 40.
So yeah, people age at different rates, and different communities tend to age at different rates. Even different generations seem to age at different rates. They said millennials seem to be aging the best. Whatever reason behind that, right? And maybe that's my own bias saying. But objectively, like you're saying, you're 29. She doesn't look. She looks older than 29. This is not a dig. This is just when people conventionally think what 29 looks like. We become very comfortable just talking about men without holding up the mirror to yourself and saying, one, what purpose does this sort of conversation have? Two, could I receive the same sort of criticism for whatever I'm spewing out there? And three, is it useful? Does it move the needle anywhere? What is the goal that this is things it's supposed to accomplish? I think if we took some time and generally ask ourselves some real questions, we'd be better for it. We can clean up a little bit of the social media. When men hear this, again, to reiterate what we were saying earlier, when men hear this and they see where it's coming from, my first inkling in the comment section, let me know if I'm wrong. My first inkling is simply withdrawal. Is just withdrawal, and it becomes an unfair thing to do because I don't believe most women believe this. It just seems like they do. We have to, almost, if there was a filter where we can, you know, remind ourselves that a lot of this just is not real, or this is not accounting for the majority of people that you know and love or you interact with. It seems counterintuitive because that's how we get a lot of things that spread through social media, through media, where you get slang, where you get music choice, where you get preference, where we all seem to end up listening to, battling, debating the very same talking points that seem to originate with just that one source at a time, and quickly flashes through various communities. So I get why it's difficult to not think that this is the norm. Especially, you can scroll and you'll find someone saying something very similar, but maybe in the same visual circumstances. But the fact is, it's times like this when you have to remind yourself maybe it's time to get off the internet, have a little bit of palate cleanse, and remind yourself that just because you see it, just because the comments are flush with it, doesn't really necessarily mean that it's true for you and I. If you think I missed something, let me know down in the comments. If you see videos on your screen, let me know what you think about those. And if you listen to the sound of my voice right now and you haven't subscribed, I think you should. I'm not even going to call you chopped or anything like that. I'll see you in the next one.